students, today's topic is about taxonomy and systemic botany in Unit 2 Plant Morphology and Taxonomy of Angiosperm. The word taxonomy is derived from the Greek. It means it is the law to arrange the plants in an orderly manner. Theophrastus, the Greek philosopher known as the father of botany, he named and described some 500 plants in his book called De Historia Plantarum. Later, Dioscorides, Greek philosopher, described and illustrated in his famous Materia Medica and described about 600 medicinal plants. From 16th century onwards, the Europe has witnessed a major development in the field of taxonomy, and some of the key contributors include Salpinio, John Ray, Torrent Fort, Jean Bahin and Caspar Bahin. Linnaeus, in his book Species Plantarum, laid a strong foundation for the binomial nomenclature. The binomial nomenclature means giving two names to a plant. Taxonomy is no more classical morphology based discipline, but because a dynamic and transdisciplinary subjects makes use of many branches of botany such as cell biology, physiology, biochemistry, ecology, pharmacology, and also modern biotechnology, molecular biology, and bioinformatics. It helps to understand biodiversity, wild forest management of natural resources for sustainable use of plants and eco-restoration. Taxonomy and systematics. The word taxonomy is derived from Greek word. It means taxis means arrangement and nomos means laws or rules. It is defined as the science dealing with the classification includes the basis, principles and rules and procedures. Simpson defined systematics as scientific study of the kinds and diversity of organisms and all relationships among them. Though there are two terms are used in an interchangeable way, they differ from each other. Taxonomic hierarchy. Taxonomic hierarchy was introduced by Carolus Linnaeus. It is the arrangement of various taxonomic levels in descending order, starting from the kingdom up to species. The species is the lowest of classification and shows the high level of similarities among the organism. For example, Helianthus annulus, it means sunflower, and Helianthus tuberosus. These two species differ in their morphological, that is external character, but both of them are herbs, but Helianthus tuberous is a perennial herb. Both that is Helianthus annulus and Helianthus tuberous, both are herb, but the Helianthus tuberous is a perennial herb. Perennial herb means the underground part is alive for many years. Genus, it consists of multiple species which have similar characters but differ from the species of another genus. Example, Helianthus and Tridax. Helianthus and Tridax are coming under the same family, but their characters may be differ. The next level is a family. The family comprises a number of genera which share some similarities among them. So the family comprises many genera which share some similarities among them. Example, Asteraceae. Order, which include group of families which shows less similarities among them. The next level is a class. It consists of group of orders which share few similarities. Only it shows a few similar characters. The next level is division, is the next level of classification that consists of number of classes. More number of classes are present in the division. Example, Magnolophyta. That is it is an angiosperms. Then kingdom. The kingdom is the highest level or rank of the classification. All the plants are coming under the kingdom Plantae. The next difference between taxonomy and systematic. The word taxonomy, it includes classifying organism into taxa. Classifying the organism into taxa. Systematics, broad field of biology that studies the diversification of species. Taxonomy, it governs the practice of naming, describing, identifying and specimen preservation. That is naming the plant, describing the plant and identifying and species preservation are included in taxonomy. In systematics, it governs the evolutionary history. It means the historical relationship of a plant and also phylogenetic relationship in addition to taxonomy. That is the origin of plant are included in systematics. Taxonomy includes classification and nomenclature to arrange the plants and also naming the plant. Systematics is equal to taxonomy plus phylogeny. Taxonomy plus phylogeny means systematics. Then rank, ending, example. Kingdom. Example is Plantae. Phylum, division, Phyta, Magnolophyta. Subphylum, that is subdivision, Phytaceae, Magnolophytaceae. Class Opsida, Astropsida. Subclass Idea, Astridia. Order Ales, Astrales. Suborder Inaceae, Astrinaceae. Family Aceae, Astraceae. Subphylum Odiae, Astrodiae. Tribe E. Helianthi. Genus Helianthus. Subgenus Helianthus. Subspecies Helianthus. Series Helianthus series Helianthus. Species, that is Helianthus annulus. The next is the concept of species morphology. Concept of species: morphological, biological and phylogenetic. Species is the fundamental unit of taxonomic classification. The species is a group of individual organisms which have the following familiar characters. A population of organisms which closely resembles each other more than the other populations, which are closely shows relationship with each other more than the other population. For example, the rose plants are having same characteristics compared to the other hibiscus or other plants. They are descended from a common ancestor. All the species are arises from a common ancestor. In sexually reproducing organism, they interbreed freely in nature and producing fertile offsprings. Only the species have the ability to interbreed among themselves and produces the fertile offsprings naturally. Species concept can be classified into two general groups. Concept emphasizing process of evolution that maintains the species as a unit and that can result in evolutionary divergence and speciation. Formation of species is called as speciation. Another concept emphasizes the production of evolution in define a species. Types of species. There are different types of species and they are process of evolution, biological species, production of evolution, morphological species and phylogenetic species. First is the morphological species, taxonomic species. When the individuals are similar to one another in one or more features and differ from such groups, they are called as morphological species. That is, externally they show some more features, similar features and different from other such groups. They are called as a morphological species. Biological species, isolation species. According to Ernest Mayr in 1963, these are groups of population that interbreed and are reproductively isolated from other such groups in nature. The biological species are isolated from the other species Phylogenetic species. The concept was developed by Simpson, Meglich, and Ville. Ville defined phylogenetic species as an evolutionary species as a single lineage that is coming from a single ancestor. Their descendant population which maintain its identity from other such lineages, which has its own evolutionary tendency and historical fate. They are called as a phylogenetic species. International Code of Botanical Nomenclature ICBN. So they assign naming for the plant is known as a nomenclature. This is based on the rules and the recommendations of the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, that is giving a name to a plant and based on the rules and the regulation given by the ICBN. It deals with the names of existing, that is living, and extinct fossil organism. The elementary rule of naming of plants was first proposed by Linnaeus in the year 1751 in his book Philosophiae Botanica. In 1813, a detailed set of rules regarding plant naming was given by A.P. Decandole in his famous book work Theorio Elementary de la Botanique. In the present ICBN was evolved by the following the same rules of Linnaeus, A.P.D. Decandole and his son Alphonse D. Decandole. ICN principles. The International Code of Nomenclature is based on the following 6 principles. It includes botanical nomenclature is independent of zoological and bacteriological nomenclature. That is, naming the plant is independent from zoological and bacteriological nomenclature. Application of names of taxonomic group is determined by means of nomenclatural types. Nomenclature of taxonomic group is based on priority of the publication. Who first given the description about the plant or naming the plant. Each taxonomic group with a particular circumscription, position and rank can be where only one correct name should be taken. Scientific means of taxonomic groups are treated as Latin regardless of their derivation. The rules of nomenclature are retractive unless expressively it is limited. The next is a Code of Nomenclature. An ICN has formulated a set of rules and recommendations dealing with the next is Code of Nomenclature. ICN has formulated a set of rules and recommendations dealing with the botanical naming of the plants, that is giving name to the plants. International Botanical Congress is held at different places every 6 years once. In this meeting, they gave the proposals for nomenclature, that is naming, changing and change in rules are discussed and implemented. Changes are published in their website. In 18th International Botanical Congress held in 2011 at Melbourne, Australia made the major changes. The code now permits electronic publication of naming of new taxa, that is giving electronic publication for naming the new plant. Latin diagnosis or description is not mandatory and permit the use of English or Latin for the publication of a new name or giving new name is in the form in English. One fungus, one name and one fossil, one name are important changes. The concept of anamorph. Anamorph means the asexual stage of a fungi. And telomorphs. It means a sexual reproductive stage of a fungi. And morphotaxon for fungi, for fossils, has been eliminated. As an experiment with the registration of names, new fungal descriptions require the use of an identifier. The person who first identified the fungus from a recognized repository. There are 2 recognized repositories. One is Index Fungorum and Mucobank. In 19th International Botanical Congress was held in Swanshan in China in 2017. Changes accepted by International Botanical Congress are yet to be published. The next is a vernacular name. The vernacular names are known as common names. That is local name for the plants. They are often descriptive and poetic reference to the plants. The common name refers to more than one plant or many plants may have same common names. Sometimes many plants are having same common names. These names are regional, that is the name is used by the local people and are not universal. They are not worldwide names. Example, Albizia amara belongs to Mimosaceae is called as Usli in South Tamil Nadu and Turunji in North Tamil Nadu. Scientific names or botanical names, each and every taxon as per the ICN, that is, can have only one correct scientific names. The scientific names of a species is always in the form of binomials. These names are universally applied. Example, Oryza sativa is the scientific name of a paddy. Polynomial names. The polynomial is a descriptive phrase of a plant. The name itself represents the full description about the plants. Example, Ranunculus calcibus, Retroflux pedunculus, falcitus, curl, erecto, foliis, compositus. It means the buttercup with the reflexed sepals, the sepals or reflex, curved flowers, stalks, erect stem and compound leaves. The polynomial names of plants is replaced by a binomial names by Linnaeus. Binomials. The binomial nomenclature was first introduced by Caspar Borgin and it was implemented by Carolus Linnaeus. The scientific name of a species consists of two words and according to binomial nomenclature, the first name is called as a genus name and the second name is called as a specific name or specific epithet. Example, Mangifera indica. Mangifera is the genus name and indica is the species epithet. This system is always even. Now it is a most commonly used system among the scientific community. Author citation. This refers to the valid name of the taxon. That is the person who first giving name to the plant is called as an author citation. Accompanied by the name of the plant is accompanied by the author name who published the name validity. Example, Solanum nigrum L. That L represents the name of Linnaeus. There are two types of author citation. One is a single author. When a single author proposed a valid name, the name of the author alone only. If only one author means it is the name is represented by one author. Example, Pithecolobium cinerum Benth. That is, this name was first given by Bentham. So it is a Benth. Multiple author. When two or more authors are associated with a valid publication of a name, the name should be noted with the help of a Latin word et or and. Example, Delphinum viscosum, Hooke F. et al. Thomson. Standard form of author's abbreviation has to be followed. Author standard form of abbreviation: Linnaeus L, George Bentham Benth, William Hooker Hooke, Robert Brown R.B.R. J.P. Lamarck A.P.D. Decandolle D.C. Walsh Wall, Alphonse Decandolle D.D.C. Taxonomic Aids. The taxonomic aids are the tools for the taxonomic studies. It is used to study the taxonomy. Some techniques, procedures and stored information that are useful in identification and classification of organisms are called as taxonomical aids. That is the books or techniques, procedures used to study the characteristic features of a plant is called as taxonomical aids. They are required in almost all branches of biological studies for their proper identification and for finding the relationship with others. So it is used to know the characteristic features of the plants and also the relationship between the phylogenetic relationship between other plants are also known by using taxonomical aids. Some of the taxonomical aids are keys, flora, revisions, monograph, catalogs, herbarium, botanical gardens, etc. The next is keys. Taxonomic keys are the tools for the identification of unfamiliar plants. The plants are not familiar to us is identified by using keys. These keys are based on the characteristic which are available and reliable. So the keys of the unknown plants are known by using the known plants because the known plants keys are stable and truth. The most common type of key is Dicatamus Key. It consists of a sequence of two contrasting statements. A pair of contrasting statements is called as a couplet. So the key used is a Dicatamus Key. It consists of pair of statements. This pair of statement is called as a couplet. Each statement is known as lead. The plant is correctly identified with a key by narrowing down the characteristics of the plants. Examples: the flower cream colored fruiting calyx enclosing the berry. That is, the flower is enclosing the berry. Physiolus. Flower white or violet fruit. Calyx not enclose the berry. Likewise, the Dicatamus Key is present. Corolla rotate, fruit a berry, solanum. Corolla funnel or form or salver form, fruit a capsule. It is represent the datura. Radical leaves present flowers in racemose, fruits without prickles, nicotinia. Radical leaves absent, flowers solitary, the fruit with prickles, datura. Another type of key for identification is the polyclave or multi-entry key. It consists of a list of numerous character states. The user select all the states that matches the specimen. Polyclave keys are implemented by a computer algorithm. Botanical gardens. All gardens are not botanical gardens. The botanical gardens are center for collection of plants in their various stages of living. The garden existed for growing ornamental plants for aesthetic value, religious and status reasons. The famous hanging gardens of Babylon in Mesopotamia is an example. For the purpose of science and education, the first garden was maintained by Theophrastus in his public lecture hall at Athens. The first modern botanical garden was established by Luca Ghini, a professor of botany at Pisa, Italy in 1544. Botanical gardens consist of a special plant collection such as cactus, it is succulent, greenhouse, shade house, tropical, alpine and exotic plants are present. Worldwide there are about 18,000 botanical gardens and arboreta. Rules of botanical garden. The botanical gardens place the following important rules, that is the garden with aesthetic value. A large number of visitors, for example the great banyan tree Ficus bengaliensis in the Indian Botanical Garden at Kolkata. Gardens have a wide range of species and supply taxonomical material for botanical research. The garden is used for self-instruction or demonstration purpose. It can integrated information of diverse fields like anatomy, embryology, phytochemistry, cytology, physiology and ecology. It acts as a conservation center for diversity, rare and endangered species. It offers annual list of available species and a free exchange of seeds. The botanical garden gives information about method of propagation, sale of plant material to the general public. The Royal Botanical Garden at Kiev.